What do boxers, biscuits, and Instagram polls have to do with creativity? Find out on this month's episode of the PepTalk Creative Corner Podcast as we interview Aiko Pickering from Monthly. A small disclaimer or two before we get started with our interview today. This episode does discuss topics related to normal human bodily functions that can be a bit gross and uncomfortable for some. If you are sensitive to discussions involving underwear or menstruation, this may not be the episode for you. See our show notes for more information. We don't get graphic with it, but we understand that this is a sensitive topic for some people. Second, our wonderful guest, Aiko, is the owner and full person behind the period underwear brand Monthly. We love Aiko, and we are so excited to have her on the show, but we do need to let you know, for purposes of legality and full disclosure, that Monthly is in no way sponsoring this episode. We really just wanted to get to introduce you to Aiko, and we are excited to have her here with us. So, not sponsored, and with that said, let us get on to our episode. Thank you all for listening. Hi there, everyone. Welcome back to the PepTalk Creative Corner Podcast. I'm Katie Silverwings.
And I'm Allie of Allie the Art.
And this week we are joined by our special guest, Aiko. And Aiko is here to talk to us about some really cool stuff. Small disclaimer, there may be some mentions of perfectly normal biological human functions in this episode. Check out our description in the show notes if that is something that might concern you or anyone you listen with.
You have been warned.
There you
With
go.
love.
So, Aiko, tell us a little bit about yourself. You're a new friend I met on the road.
A new friend I met about 5 minutes ago before we started recording.
Yeah.
So I greeted you with biscuits.
Yes. So, fellow person who likes biscuits, tell us a little bit about what you do so we can introduce you to our audience.
Yeah, for sure. So, hi, you guys. I'm Aiko, and I run a company called Monthly. We make gender-inclusive, planet-friendly, ultra-comfy period underwear that are informed by people's experiences with endometriosis, PCOS, pelvic floor dysfunction, pain, gender dysphoria, you name it, because we believe that everyone deserves a comfy period.
Awesome.
I love that.
And Aiko, do you have a sample to hold up for the camera so we can show Allie what these look like real quick?
I mean,
Because
oh, stop,
all right.
They're cute.
So I was across from Aiko at the Women's Business Council South. We were across from each other in the little vendor hall after all the fun celebrating women in business stuff. And it was an immediate, hey, those don't trigger my dysphoria. I am interested. Tell me more, wonderful person that we are staring at each other all evening.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of fun. So, Allie, what's our first question for her?
So now that we know about what you do, we want to know, how did you get started? What inspired you to start this business? It's not one you see every day, but it's one that's so needed and beloved. So tell us, how did you get started?
Yeah, for sure. So there was a lot of things happening that kind of led me to this. I never thought when I was in school that I was going to be running a period underwear company when I graduated, but few things. So I graduated from my bachelor's degree during COVID, and I lived down here in Mobile, Alabama, and I was like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? I'm really into, I wanted a creative role or working in nonprofit or advocacy, and there wasn't really any of that down here. So my answer to that was I started a nonprofit down here donating pads and tampons to folks in the community that couldn't afford them. And around that same time, two other things happened. I was struggling through pelvic floor dysfunction. So my normal period product started causing me pain. And I was like, what am I supposed to do here? Because I loved what I was using. And now I'm in a frenzy of why is it not working? Why is it painful? And pads are my only option right now. And I really don't want to be doing that all the time. And then at the same time, a friend of mine who's trans, started talking to me, asking if we could give them some products that they could donate to folks. And they started talking to me about gender dysphoria. And it was like the first time I had encountered that. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, what could I do here to kind of solve all of this? And so I started thinking about products and what I could make. And then that's really how Monthly was born, through hearing about other people's struggle with periods, my own, and really struggling to find products that worked for my body and knowing that other people were going through the same thing.
Wow, that's an incredible story. It seems like it was born from a place of love and compassion for both your own body and for other people's bodies.
You see why I wanted her on the podcast.
I can see why.
It was kind of an immediate, we talked for 5 minutes and then yes, because you're exactly the kind of person we love talking to, because you do bring a compassionate, creative approach to something that, as folks with uteruses, we do tend to encounter these ads for similar products that are being presented to us by male presenting folks that are focused on, ooh, look at the pretty flowers.
Okay, can I just say one thing about the pad industry, the tampon industry? We all have uteruses here, right?
Yeah.
Stop making the packages so loud and so like sounding like a bag of chips,
Yeah.
It's crazy. It just seems like your company, yes, like what you showed us earlier was very cute and stylish, but also it wasn't so bright and loud and like, let's make it fun. You're like, no, let's care about the person first, not the packaging, but the person who's going to be using it. And I just think if more companies had that kind of compassion for their clients, the world would be a better place, to use the cliche phrase.
Yeah. And that does lead in a little bit to our second question that we want to ask you, which is,
where does creativity come into a business like yours?
And into what you do with it? Yes.
Right.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of angles of creativity. And just having to get creative, really, because I kind of started this with no business background. Like my degree was like in English and sociology and gender studies. So jumping into this, I was like, well, I guess I'm going to figure it out. And I think you have to have like a layer of creativity to be open and honest with yourself about maybe not being good at something in the first place and like trying to get better at it. I guess some more concrete creative things we use is I make a lot of content on social media. So I do a lot of video editing. I do a lot of ideation and like what's going to resonate with the audience. And excitingly right now we're working with, we're trying to start limited edition print drops by working with illustrators.
That's so cool.
Really, yeah, I'm really excited for it. That's kind of how I'm bringing in more creativity to our customers who want more prints or more colors or different things like that. And I think that there's just so many pieces where you do have to be creative with solutions, with how you approach the problem. So yeah, it's multifaceted creativity in running a business like this, I'd say.
And it sounds like your creativity is evolving as you go along. I mean, that sounds so fun to have like different illustrators and different types of artwork and making it fun as well as functional. That's very creative to even think that way.
Yeah. And even just the approach to, we're going to get our staples sorted out so that we have the product people love. And now we're going to jazz it up for those of us who want something shiny and fun and decorative, as opposed to just the most discreet pair possible that you just don't have to think about it. And that was what drew me to your designs. When I looked at them, it was like, these are the kind of thing that you could wear and just forget you're wearing it and not be remembering constantly that on top of the suffering you're already going through.
Yeah. 100%. That was really one of my big goals, was like, making a product that just is so comfortable. It feels like your favorite pair of underwear, but also something that you like actually want to reach for. Cause we have some customers that wear these like all the time, even when they're not on their period. And so like that feels like a huge thing for me, because it's like all our customers are really finding comfort, daily comfort in this product. And that's really one of the main goals, is helping people achieve that.
Yeah, and you couldn't see it clearly in the sample, but they are seamless.
Okay, I was going to ask, like,
and they're the true seamless. They're not the fake seamless.
Thank you. What sets the underwear that you make apart from other types of underwear in the market?
Yeah, well, we can go through some features. So basically, the body fabric, we went with a really buttery, stretchy, recycled nylon. And that was to accommodate for bodies that, blow and change during your cycle, but also the soft material for folks that may have sensory issues due to autism or other conditions that would make them have sensory issues. This ultra stretchy waistband as well for the bloating and cramping. And then this is really the inside where the specialness comes into play. This pad, it moisture wicks, it absorbs, it's leak proof, and it's ultra thin. So it doesn't have that added bulk of, having to wear a disposable pad. It allows you to still feel like you're wearing a regular pair of underwear, but it's still getting the job done when you're on your period.
And does not involve having the company also sell you a cute little zippered bag to put things in that's waterproof, because you're meant to have to switch them out like regular pads, except take them home and wash them. Mm-hmm. Which whenever that one, if you have a uterus, you've probably seen this ad on Instagram where the gentleman is explaining how you fold up the product that he's offering and put it in the nice little matching bag that they offer, so you can put it in, they promise is leak proof. I like your solution better.
Same. Yeah.
I think it's a little bit less condescending towards your customers, in a way that this is something that's designed to be as easy and hygienic to use as possible while still dealing with the situation. Because human bodies are gross, and this is the 21st century. We need to be able to handle the grossness as discreetly and comfortably as possible.
And I really appreciate that you thought of every type of customer that you're going to have, that there are people with sensory issues or sensory preferences. I think that's a better way to put it. Sensory preferences, that this is catering to them, or people who really want that soft fabric that will just make this uncomfortable part of the month a lot more comfortable. Like, I think a lot of these companies that sell us these products, they are focusing on the wrong thing. They're trying to make like, oh, it's just fun and sparkly and funny little packaging and everything. But you're like, no, I care about you and I care about how you feel in this. But then also you have the design element in the right place. It's not sparkly packaging. It's something that looks nice, feels nice, and gets the job done, like you said.
Okay, so our next question for you is kind of pulling on to what we were just talking about. What keeps you coming back to what you do? We know how you got started in this and what it is that you're doing, but what keeps you at this? Where do you find your creative motivation in this?
Yeah, I guess it's a few things, because running a business solo can be really, really hard. And sometimes, I don't want to wake up and do all of these things. And one of the things I've been doing recently is trying to reframe my mindset when I don't want to work, from oh, I have to do this, to I'm allowed to do this. And I get to do something like this, which is really fun. And I'm choosing actively to do this. And then on top of that, I think the most important is really feedback from customers. We do sales a few times a year where we do pay what you want or pay what you can, so we can help make our product truly accessible. And there's a little love note section where customers can leave love notes for us. And sometimes I sit and read those and I'm like, I forget that this is something that's actually positively affecting people's lives. And to see some of these love notes, like a few that stood out to me from our last sale was like, someone was like, I'm a mother or I think I'm a single mom and my child has autism and we haven't been able to find products that work for them. And so the fact that we could get this at this price and it works for them is like really amazing. Or I'm trans and I had to get off tea and now I need a product like this and it's really making a difference in my life. And reading messages like that is really the motivation that makes me want to keep building this and know that it's actually needed and necessary. So I'd say that's probably the biggest thing that motivates me to keep going, is knowing that like we're building community, we're helping folks, and also that they get to be a part of this growth too. Cause I like to say we're a radically customer first company. Like we don't make any decisions without consulting our customers and our community. And it's very like open dialogue with everyone that is a part of like monthly. It's a universal we, not just me. And so getting to be a part of something like that is just really exciting.
That's beautiful. I can tell you genuinely care about your customers and what they say. And I think that's such an important thing too, is allowing them to be part of the process. I feel like that's the solution right there. You value their opinion. You allow them to have this personal experience with others and have a community that isn't normally shared, normally seen. We don't usually get to connect over something like this kind of shared experience. And I think growing that kind of community is just something so unique and special that we really need more of.
Yeah. And I will say, again, part of why I wanted you on the podcast and why I really enjoyed talking to you when we were at the Women's Business Council South event is that I am mostly non-binary, but I do have a uterus and I have always experienced when that cycle kicks in, my dysphoria is 10 times as bad as it normally is because I'm reminded I have the thing. The fact that your product's not only designed for uterus issues, it's also designed for bladder issues or different things like that. Everyday leakage is even more uncomfortable, embarrassing, frustrating, and being able to have a comfy, something that has been, again, creatively designed in an ethical and compassionate way.
Yeah, that's been like really honestly one of the like weirdest parts I think about running a business is like having to sell things because like, I want everybody to be able to access them, but but that is one of my things that I am intentional about is like, hey, I know that period products are not one size fits all. And you might try monthly and it might not work for you, but like we're trying our best to make something that like actually is like different from what's on the market. And I think that's one of the reasons we offer like a 30-day trial. And if you don't like them, we don't ask questions. Like, please just let us know and we'll refund you because like, give it a try because we know that not everything works for everybody. Everybody's got different bodies, different flows, different experiences. And so we just like want to make it as seamless as possible to access something that could really help you during a time that already really sucks.
Yeah.
It's like that your process is seamless. The underwear is seamless. That's great.
Yeah, and we're going to go back to one of our earlier questions that we ask sometimes, which is what does the process for designing this kind of stuff look like from you? Because I know you have some cool designs and some cool solids, but what does your process of figuring out this kind of product look like?
Yeah, it was really hard in the beginning because I don't have a background in this whatsoever, like I said, but I found really cool people along the way that helped me take my idea and turn it into something tangible. So I knew from the beginning that I wanted to be gender inclusive. Like that was like the top priority when I started the company. And so I knew that I wanted to do a boxer. And when we started, we also had kind of like a cheeky cut, but we had a mentor that was like, cut the boxer. It's never going to work. Like there's not a big enough like customer base for that. And I was like, thank you, cis man. Do you have a period? So what I did was, sorry, I'm going on a tangent here, but what I did was...
No, we like tangents. And I was going to ask, was this mentor male? Because...
Yes, yeah.
Okay, because he's clearly never been in any women's underwear section and seen all of the boxer style ones that women are finally taking over.
Fun fact, I'm wearing them right now.
Because they're comfy, but like I was really new. This was like 2021. So I was like very new to all of this. And, you know, I wanted to do it right. And so this mentor was like, I don't think you have a company with these boxers. Like, I think this is going to be a failure. Da, 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 da. And I really felt in my gut, like, this can't be right. Cause like, if I want to start a gender inclusive company, I can't start with a gendered product, you know, like I can't start that way. Like, that's just doesn't make sense. So I was like, okay. So I launched a pre-order and I was just like, I'm just going to let the people that want this product decide what we do. So I launched the pre-order, and 80% of the pre-orders were for the boxer. So we never even made the cheeky. We funded everybody that ordered the cheeky, and we just went with the boxer because it was like, there we go. So
the people have spoken.
The people have spoken, and they say boxers.
Yes.
Well, and especially because among other period underwear type products, they're all a lot of them are it's either a fabric version of an existing pad with wings, or it's cheekies or, heaven forbid, almost thong looking stuff. It's all, but the thing is, again, the boxers do not put pressure on the parts of your leg that are upset because everything's upset down there. The boxers help keep everything in place.
Right.
It makes so much more sense. It's going back to the old style step in bloomer kind of things, except comfortable.
Yeah. Yeah. And then on the flip side of that, the boxers that do exist in the space tend to be like the heaviest duty, like they feel like wearing a diaper, or it's a boy short, which is not a boxer. Like sorry to be crass, but if my cheeks are out, that's not a boxer.
Yeah. And again, if it's a boy short and you're wearing it for stuff like that, over the course of the day, and I'm so happy we have a disclaimer on this episode so I can say this, over the course of the day, a boy short becomes a cheeky cut.
It does.
Yeah.
Especially if you've got any kind of period product, non-invasive thing, pad or whatever attached to it, they become a cheeky by the end of the day.
I like that your product is for the consumer, not for
whoever is looking at them.
Right. Thank you.
Yeah. That's one thing I really wanted to be intentional about. And even as we think about like moving beyond the boxer, we do constant surveys to see, you know, what cuts of underwear do people actually want? Like, I don't want to make something that nobody's actually looking for, or they've got that covered. So yeah, we just, you know, thinking forward about like, what do people that have hard to manage periods actually need or want? What do they want? Because nobody ever asks them what they want.
Everything becomes worse when you have to deal with bodily function stuff, and the fact that you can wear your stuff every day, or like if you're going to be sweating a lot, having something like that has the extra moisture wicking stuff so that you're not feeling like your downstairs is a swamp at the end of your workout.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of, they're just functional underwear
and cute.
Yes.
Without loud rappers.
Yes, exactly.
Something else I wanted to touch on too about like relating to all the different creatives that are listening to this podcast today is that you really value community and feedback, and in even this type of business, you have found your people. And that's so important for creatives. Like, so you are encouraging other creatives to be daring to meet this kind of need, that creativity isn't just the drawing or the music. It can be meeting a wonderful need with compassion, creativity, and community.
It's a very different business practice from what you see in a lot of standard industry or standard garment companies.
To be compassionate and inclusive.
Again, I know a lot of my trans and non-binary siblings, very much products like this that are marketed without seeming like they're a cash grab towards us, or like, oh, we changed the colors so you can have it too. or it's just the fact that you're marketing for people with these kinds of issues rather than saying ladies in all of your marketing stuff. That goes so far in that compassionate sphere, and the creativity and the bravery of taking that approach. We wanted you on the podcast because you're one of the people that's helping to keep the world going in a better direction, regardless of what the people in actual power are doing about it.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, because like I got asked really early on when I started doing this, like, why are you even like, you're not trans, you're like, why do you even care? And I was like, you don't have to have the same experience as other people to care about their experience and build for them as well. Like, you can just be empathetic and listen and be like, hey, that makes you uncomfortable. Well, my product can be inclusive of that, inclusive of your experience as well. And I think we need to practice more of like, our world has become really unempathetic. And so having that empathy and knowing that like, you don't have to have the same experience as someone, you don't have to even really understand their experience to care about it. You can just listen to them and see them and make a solution. Being inclusive is not that hard. And so when we see, in my opinion, being inclusive just takes a bit of intentionality, really.
I love it. So our next question for you is...
So we talked earlier about other creatives who are going to be inspired by you, because I know they will be. So our next question is, what advice would you have for these other creatives? Whether it's from a business standpoint or making a product with your client in mind, in style and intentionality in mind.
Yeah. Just what advice would you like to pass on to our listeners and to any of your following that might be listening as well?
Yeah, I think one of the things I often tell people, because, you know, I think people are quite intrigued when you like run your own business or how did you start or, you know, this and that. And a lot of people say to me like, oh my gosh, like that's so cool that you're doing that. I could never do that. But the reality is you literally could, you know, like I don't have any special skill that has like made me able to do this. I think a lot of times it's just having the audacity to give something a try or the audacity to be bad at something, because I came into this with no experience in business at all. And I'm figuring it out every step of the way, and being willing and able to be bad at something and like learn and keep trying and just having the audacity to keep going goes a long way. And we all have that ability. I don't have anything that makes me specially equipped to be doing this.
You know, I have to disagree that you do have skills and things that make you special, and it's your perseverance, your audacity,
compassion. I think there's a lot more to it there, but I see what you're going at. It's you just have to find those qualities in yourself and run with them. And there is that, take your audacity, pull on your comfy big creature underwear and do the thing.
Yeah, just do it.
Learning to say like, I don't have to be good at this in order to do it, because I will get good at it through experience. Experience really is the best teacher, in my opinion.
100%. Yeah. A lot of us are right. I mean, being bad at something is scary, and not being able to be good and get it the first time is also scary. And a lot of folks, you know, the inclination is like, okay, I was bad at it and I'm not going to do it again because like I was bad at it. But we're all bad at things in the beginning. So if we can get over that fear and not let the fear of being bad at something hold you back from giving something your all, I think that goes a long, long way.
Any other advice you'd like to pass on to the other creatives listening?
I guess also in the same vein is there's a lot of imposter syndrome when you first start doing something and you think, I don't belong here, or I don't deserve to be here, or there's so many people that are doing X, Y, Z, and they're so much further ahead than me. And just know that like, you can do this. And just because other people are doing more than you or better than you, or whatever that narrative is that you're telling yourself, the table is big enough for everybody. The table is big enough for you to sit down at it too. just give it a try. And I know that like that's really simplifying imposter syndrome. It's huge and it's scary and it's big and it's real, but you've got this. Like, you deserve a seat at the table that you want to be at too. And you have every right to be there just like everyone else.
So, Aiko, before we get on to our last question, was there anything else you wanted to talk to us about on the podcast? Is there anything that we've left out in this conversation so far? Because this has been great.
Yeah, you both have asked really extremely thoughtful questions. I feel like I've been able to say everything. I would love to shout out that like I really enjoyed the biscuit support, and
yes
biscuit.
For those of you who are listening to this, there may have been a we all have biscuits, despite the fact we're on a Zoom call moment at the beginning of this podcast. I believe Allie took some pictures we will be posting up when this episode comes out for context. But
can I say one thing?
Yes.
I just want to say thank you for creating this space that I can feel comfortable talking about these types of topics. Like, I'm kind of a reserved kind of person a lot when it comes to bodies. I don't normally talk about these things, but I just want to thank both of you that you've allowed me to get more comfortable talking about things that happen to my body, other people's bodies, and making this more of a normal thing to talk about. That we don't have to be scared of what happens. Like, we don't have to be scared of topics like this. That we can talk, and we don't have to be embarrassed. We don't have to be squeamish or anything about it. We can talk about it and feel comfortable, and that helps build confidence. And I just really want to thank you both for allowing me to feel more comfortable in, like, amongst my dear friends. I can feel comfortable talking about things that I'll admit I normally find embarrassing, but now I'm growing towards not being as embarrassed anymore.
Yeah.
And I think more people will benefit from this as well.
Yeah, it's amazing how much the open communication about perfectly normal bodily functions, when you have a safe space to talk about it openly, it helps make it less scary.
Mm-hmm.
And the nice thing is, hey, folks listening to this, you'll notice that while we have been discussing bodily functions all episode, we're not getting super graphic with it.
Right.
And this is not an offensive topic.
Yeah.
It's just human bodies are naturally gross.
And I think this is going to be really helpful to younger viewers. This is going to be really helpful to younger listeners that are just starting to experience things like this. And how nice is it that younger people who are starting to experience periods are going to have products like yours that will allow them to be comfortable and clean and healthy
and not feel like the manufacturer is shaming them for having physical form. I think on that note, it's the perfect time for us to move into our final question, which is our favorite question. We're going to go a little bit to the side of the topic. Allie, ask the question.
Oh, with pleasure. So, our favorite question, our final question is, so as you saw
on our lovely mugs that Allie made for us,
we are butter squirrels. Little squirrels with beautiful butterfly wings.
Because we are sparkly and creative and easily distracted by shiny things that we want to carry back to our nests.
And a little nuts.
A lot.
So our question to you is, what kind of creative creature are you?
And for some other examples, in the past on the podcast, in our last few episodes, we have had a tiger with monarch butterfly wings. That's Dr. Hinton. We've also had a meerkat cosplaying as an ocelot.
We have a yellow dolphin
with cloud wings. And so we've had some cool creatures, but what kind of creative creature are you?
Wow. I love this question. It's so fun. First, before I answer, I do want to say thank you both for also like creating a safe space to have this conversation, because I've went into spaces that weren't super receptive to this conversation. So being able to come here and like have open communication and, you know, continue the conversation, I really appreciate that from both of you. So now to answer this exciting question, wow, I'm like trying to think right now about like my favorite animal and what I think that I may be, Oh my gosh, this is actually a really tough question.
It's a fun question.
It's a fun question. Okay. I think I would be potentially a seal with, I don't know, can I just be a seal?
Some people, a single animal is enough. And I can see you as a seal.
Yes.
A nice seal. Is there a specific kind of seal? Or just a seal in general?
Just like maybe a sea lion, a seal or sea lion off the coast somewhere that like knows how to bask and relax and calm down. But then like when they're in the water, they're like doing all the things that they need to do, because I need my work-life balance. I need to have my like disassociation time. I need to have my, okay, I'm chilling, but when I'm in it, I'm like in it and I'm doing it. So I feel like a seal, sea lion-esque type on the coast somewhere kind of warm. I don't want to be an Arctic one, but yeah.
Oh, I love this answer. That is such a great explanation. I've never seen seals and sea lions that way, that they can chill on the rocks, but then they can go and get it done too in the water.
Oh yeah. Just that I am a happy seal. I'm lounging. Wait, was that a fish? Go after the fish. Or even with the sea lion thing, I kind of associate sea lions with being more active with that. I can see you with a sea lion kind of thing. Mm-hmm. We have at the Memphis Zoo here, they have sea lions that they do their happy little sea lion show. And the rest of the time they'll swim around. And because one of the tricks that they do there is that the sea lions educate the people attending on how to recycle things and put their trash away. So they have a recycling bin and they toss a plastic bottle in the water, and the sea lion picks it up and carries it over and puts it in the bin. So cute. And the thing is, if you walk by the sea lion tank at the Memphis Zoo carrying a beverage in a plastic bottle, sometimes one of the sea lions will start following you because they think that they're supposed to pick that bottle up and put it in the recycling bin.
That is so darn cute. I never knew that.
So I'm kind of picturing you as a sea lion, but we can go with seal either way. Some kind of wonderful pinniped.
If you would come visit Memphis, we need to have a trip to the zoo so you can go and meet your creative creature. And we'll put the bottles to recycle.
Well, we'll recycle whatever we find along the way there. But the sea lion show is fun, and just that idea of those happy little pinnipeds that know when to bask on a rock and know when to go after a fish.
May we all bask and fish.
Yes. So I think that about brings us to the end of the episode. So Aiko, we're going to be putting all your links in the show notes, but do you have anything that you'd like to tell our listeners where to go find you or other things, anything? Let's see. This will be our March episode coming out. It is March when you are listening to this at the earliest. Hello, people in the future. Is there anything around then that you want to promote to our listeners going on or tell them about?
Yeah, so hopefully in March, as anybody in the space knows, sometimes not everything goes according to plan, but I'm gonna pretend everything's going according to plan right now. And in March, we will be having our limited edition print drop. So
okay, then yes, this is definitely coming out in March so that we can make sure to post this episode so that the people who are coming, if you came here from the marketing for the limited edition print drop, so you could learn more about Aiko and Monthly and what goes on in the creator's head here. So we're expecting shiny colors.
Ooh. And thank you for coming and listening with us and talking with us. This is so much fun.
So limited edition print drop. Are we expecting anything cool here with this?
So we've got two options right now that we're narrowing it down from. I put a poll on our Instagram, and back to, I can't just create what I want. Everybody was saying plaid, and I was like, plaid, but like, okay, fair enough. We can have some fun, it's like a fun graphic plaid. And then we have another option that we're sampling right now, which is the illustrator we're working with is called Sunny Woo. And she does these really adorable, little almost like stickers. And so she's made us a really cute, like sticker print. I loved her work, and she does a lot of illustrations that and like storytelling through her illustrations that I really love, but she created a really cute sticker print for us that has just a few different trinkets that's really representative of who she is as an artist. So we've got these 2 samples in. I don't know what it's going to be. We've got to see how they, turn out and how they look, but, be on the lookout for that in March. Fingers crossed.
So great. And where else can our listeners find you, Aiko?
Yeah, you can find us on TikTok or Instagram. Our handle is shop.monthly. We also have a website, shopmonthly.co. And whether you're popping in to check us out, to buy something, to comment, whatever capacity you want to be, we'd love to have you in our community, even if it's just to, open up the conversation about periods and talk with us openly. So just, come see us, come see me. When you're on our socials, it's literally me. And, I'm always around and I love to chat with everyone and learn more about all these bodily functions we got.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so fun and inviting. That's so great.
All right. Well, Aiko, thank you so much for being on the podcast with us today. And we're so grateful you had time in your busy schedule to do this. And we wish you all the best with everything Monthly is up to. And we look forward to seeing what comes up in the future with you. And to all of our listeners, thank you all for listening to the PepTalk Creative Corner podcast. Stay shiny, stay safe, stay creative. Bye.
Bye.
Katie from the future here with your March 2026 announcements from the team at PepTalk Productions and the PepTalk Creative Corner podcast. Allie and I will be recording live episodes at 2 different events here in the Memphis area during the month of March. On March 13th and 14th, we will be in Brownsville, Tennessee for Haywood Comic Con. And during Haywood Comic Con, we will be interviewing a special surprise guest live as part of the con. So if you are in the area, that's again March 13th and 14th for Haywood Comic Con for one of our live episodes. Our second live episode will be at MidSouth Con here in Memphis at the Memphis Vitality Hotel, which runs from March 20th to 22nd. We will be recording a live episode on the Saturday of that con at noon. And again, we will have a special surprise guest for our live recording. If you'd like to be in our live audience at MidSouth Con, be sure to find us at noon on Saturday of MidSouth Con. In addition to all of that, Allie will be at Blues City Comic Con here in Memphis on March 28th and 29th. And I, Katie Silverwings, will be at the Bartlett Book Bonanza on March 28th, also in the Memphis area in Bartlett at their library. So if you'd like to meet us in person, we are going to be at 2 different events here in Memphis on the weekend of March 28th. I will be in Bartlett for the Bartlett Library's Book Bonanza, and Allie will be at Blues City Comic Con. All of the information about those different shows can be found in our show notes. And as always, if you would like to keep up with us and find out more of what we're doing, you can find all of our information about the PepTalk Creative Corner podcast on our website at peptalkproductionsllc.com, and also join our lovely little free fan club on there, or at higher tiers if you'd like to support the podcast and make it possible for us to keep hosting this. That is all on our website, and our subscribers at all levels, including our free tiers to the fan club, get a periodic newsletter with information about what we've got going on, as well as some other fun perks down the line. Thank you all again so much for listening to the PepTalk Creative Corner podcast, and we hope you have a wonderful month of March or whatever time of year you are listening to this episode. Thank you. Bye. The PepTalk Creative Corner podcast is brought to you by PepTalk Productions, LLC and PepTalk Creative Arts. This podcast and all of its content are copyright 2025 PepTalk Productions, LLC. This podcast is for informational and entertainment purposes only. The views expressed are solely those of the host and guests and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of any other person, agency, company, or organization. PepTalk Productions, LLC and the podcast hosts are not responsible for any losses, damages, or liabilities resulting from the use of the information provided in this podcast. Do not rely on this content as medical, legal, or financial advice. Please consult a qualified professional for advice tailored to your specific situation. This episode may contain sponsored content or affiliate links. No AI was used in the creation of the contents of this podcast. You can find out more about the PepTalk Productions, LLC catalog of books and services, as well as the PepTalk Creative Corner Podcast by going to our website, www.peptalkproductionsllc.com. Thank you for listening.